Wow. Well, we're back in the 90s where I am. I was hoping we would escape it a little longer. 93 today. But that's okay. I'll just stay where the air is. All right, everybody. We're just going to give it a few more minutes before getting started. And man, there are so many things going on. It's not even funny. In fact, I don't know if any of you heard, there was an earthquake that just struck Alaska and it dropped down some pretty large boulders. Oh, okay. And I was looking at that a little earlier today. All right, so let's see here. So, North Carolina is not the only spot that had an earthquake today. There appears to be an earthquake in Alaska. Okay, let's see if I can. Okay. All right, y'all. Just give me 1 second. You know how it goes. Somebody is at my door. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. Let's get started. Now, many of you might have heard there were 250,000 bikers from all over the country that went into Sturgis, South Dakota. And they're going to be there for 10 days. I didn't realize their rally lasted that long, but their rally goes on for 10 straight days. And I think it was the Sioux Nation was trying to stop them because I don't know how aware some of you are, but the coronavirus is pretty bad on the Indian reservations in this country. And it doesn't get that much shine, but they're trying to stop the spread. And they said after this rally that goes on for 10 days, they expect a super spread to go on in the country because it's going to be so many of them carrying COVID back to their home states and back to their families. Shalom to everybody in the chat. So that's a lot of people coming together, y'all. That's a lot of people. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you so you can see what it looks like. Give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Okay. Okay. Give me a 1 if you can see the screen. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I might play. All right. This does not have any sound, but you can still see how many bikes. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. So that audio that the Washington Post put out did not have sound, but you got the idea of how many people how many people were there. You know what? I normally would not care, especially if COVID was not going on. All right. Now, these are people, ladies and gentlemen, that are there from all 50 states. All right. So they are going to be carrying this stuff back home. And if they're there for 10 days, you can best believe many of them are going to be sick while they're there over the 10-day period. All right. They're going to be, many of them are going to be sick either as they're leaving or while they are there. And these are older Americans. The majority of them are older 50 and 60-year-olds. That's really the average age of them there. And normally they have 500,000, but they believe because of COVID-19, only 250,000 of them showed up. So this is August 8th, 2020, Sturgis bike rally in South Dakota. 250,000 stoking virus fears. So the Sioux Nation tried to set up checkpoints and stop them from coming in, but as you could see, they still all made it in. Health officials are still warning against small gatherings, and states with relatively low spread of coronavirus are ordering visitors from hotspots to self-quarantine. That did not stop hordes of bikers streaming into Sturgis, South Carolina, Friday and Saturday, one of the world's biggest annual motorcycle rallies. The first of 250,000 people from across the country are there in South Dakota, rural Black Hills. They rumbled through the streets and crowded sidewalks, often without masks, for the start of a 10-day extravaganza so deeply rooted that Sturgis called itself the City of Riders. WCVB reported the vendors of hundreds of tents sold motorcycle gear, food, and t-shirts. One which said, "Screw COVID. I went to Sturgis." That's what it says on one of the t-shirts there that's being sold. I don't want to die, but I don't want to be cooped up all my life either. 66-year-old Stephen Sample told the Associated Press. And, you know, he came up there on a Harley from Arizona. He worries about getting the coronavirus and said he was trying to steer clear of bars, but ate breakfast at a morning inside a diner. Many bikers resemble Sample. Yeah, because they said the average age is in their 60s. You know, they are from an older population, most vulnerable to coronavirus, hail from the summer's major viral hotspots, and have heard the warnings. Thank you. But they're risking their lives over a rally, y'all. So I guess if it don't matter to them, if you don't care about yourself, who's supposed to care? You know? But this is what these folks do. But I guess if you're going to send your kids to school, you don't give a crap about what the adults do. So that's the way I see it. They don't care about the children or the adults here at all. So there's more. Kevin Lunsman told the AP that the only difference he noticed from the past events was fewer people were wearing masks. People were still filling the bars and nightclubs. This is what they're doing there. Everybody's still partying hard, Lunsman told the AP. And Lunsman is 63 years old. As the massive rally approached this week, the mayor of Sturgis said there was not much to do but encourage personal responsibility, set up sanitation stations, and give out masks, though they were not required. So South Dakota is one of those places that don't require masks, but they recommend it. Worried residents, however, said officials should have delayed or canceled what could go down as the largest pandemic era gathering in the country. In the state, a Republican governor, Kristi Noem, resisted stay-at-home orders and mask rules, and last month welcomed other mass events. President Trump's 4th of July speech was at Mount Rushmore, right? And that's in South Dakota. We have to be here after they leave, and we're not sure what they're leaving. So the residents of this South Dakota town of Sturgis are not happy. They fear COVID will start spreading rampantly there after these 250,000 bikers leave. Thank you, Michael Daniels, for the super sticker. So I understand their fear. I wouldn't be happy about that. 250,000 bikers in your town from all over the country. I wouldn't be happy about that either. Okay. Another Black Hills designated flooded by bikers who requested to be anonymous because she feared the backlash in her small community. Decades local residents have prepared to hunker down inside, piling up on groceries ahead of the event. She told the Washington Post the 65-year-old has a family she fears could, be vulnerable to getting coronavirus. But Friday, she drove a couple of blocks to put her mask on and walked into Hill City main drag just to survey the crowds. No mask, no social distancing, she said. I just wish other people would respect the locals a little bit more. The city survey found that more than 60% of Sturgis residents wanted the event postponed, the AP reported. This is huge, foolish mistake to make, the hostess rally this year with the pandemic. Sturgis resident Linda Chaplin warned city officials early this summer as the debate raged, according to the AP. The government of Sturgis need to care most about its citizens. The spectacle centered in Sturgis and fanning out around surrounding towns is hugely important to the local economy, bringing 1.3 million in the city and state tax revenue last year, according to the Argus leader. A mayor's letter overwhelming Sturgis described how the city comes alive with 500,000 visitors during a typical August rally, suddenly transforming into the largest community in the state with concerns and races. On June 15th, the city council members voted 8-1 to forge ahead with the 80-year-old tradition, News Center 1 reported. Speaking to CNN, the mayor said allowing the rally this year was a difficult decision. He noted that the city will be expanding a program to deliver supplies to the homes of those worried about the virus, but there is no quarantine recommendation for bikers. So these bikers can go right in there, ladies and gentlemen. No quarantining at all. So they are not checking them. They're not doing their usual check for COVID screenings or nothing. They are just letting them all pile in there, stay 10 days, and then leave. But okay, so no quarantine. Visitors already have been flocking to the Black Hills during the pandemic, he said. Backing up local leaders' decision is the governor, who has been disdainful of the coronavirus restrictions throughout the pandemic. Nome said this week on Fox News that her state had successfully held other large gatherings, including Trump's event at Mount Rushmore. We hope people come, Nome said. And she said this is just their typical motorcycle rally. Our economy benefits from people coming and visiting. So they're willing to sacrifice the health of their people for the economy. They want this money that's going to be generated over this 10-day period, which will give them money for their economy. So they're choosing to do that over the safety of the residents that live in Sturgis. Wow. As governor after governor, Democrat and Republican, turned to stay-at-home orders earlier this year, Nome denounced herd mentality and said that move was not right for her state. South Dakota is not New York City, she said. I don't know. After all those people leave, you might be New York City. Don't speak too soon. You might be that. Wow. So all I can say is I know there's not many of our people in South Dakota. You know, it's one of those states that don't have a big Black population at all. But it don't mean that the people that are there, the 250,000 bikers that are there, they're going to be returning back to your state. We don't know where all of them live, you know, but those folks are going to be returning back to all 50 states where they came from. And the community spread will go off the charts. And this is why I'm telling y'all, fall is going to be far worse than this summer. People think it's bad now. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait until these people leave out of there 10 days later and come home. Give it about up to 2 weeks and start hearing about the jumps in COVID in all 50 states. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's no doubt about it. That's why people have their eye on this thing. It has nothing to do whether you care that they are there or not. It's the consequences that are tied to these 250,000 people that are there. That is the point. Okay. So, wow, everybody be careful. Be really careful. You know, obviously, these folks don't care about no one but themselves. And they've been showing it over and over all throughout the summer, flocking to the beach, flocking, back into bars and back in restaurants. And look, Florida, the Florida governor just signed an executive order to stop negative testing. So, in other words, if a restaurant worker gets sick and they quarantine, right? Thank you, Black Voltron FBA 2020 for the super chat. These self-centered and selfish fools would rather gather, spend money than protect their lives and families. Lives, shake my head. I hear you. When they die, I'll feel nothing for these Darwin Award winners. Gotta go, gotta go. Thank you for the super chat. And I agree with what you said. And it don't take many of them to start a big community spread in your state. So, like I said, keep your immune systems up. Try to take, your supplements, do your part. Thank you, Art, for the super sticker. Everybody just do your part to keep yourselves, your children, your parents, your loved ones, your husbands and wives safe through this time, or even if you got a live-in boyfriend or girlfriend, stay safe. It don't matter. Stay safe. Obviously these folks are very reckless with their lives, and they're going to come back home and be reckless with everybody else's life around them too. And that's pretty messed up, for real. Yeah, I tell you, they said, oh, well, it's a lot of people with COVID, but not that many dying. I'm telling you, that's going to all change. The deaths are going to skyrocket. And I really, truly believe it will be this fall. For real. So just be careful, everybody. If you're not comfortable with being out there, don't be out there. If you're not comfortable with your kids going back to school, don't send them back to school. There is no best, in my opinion, there's no better teacher of a child than the parent anyway. Okay, these teachers are not a better teacher to your child than you are. And I really, truly believe that. Ladies and gentlemen, definitely leave your comment on the video. And please stay safe if you can't do nothing else. And stay prayed up, because our Heavenly Father is answering prayers. Peace, family.